Hello YouTube, I'm Andy. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for the support you gave me in 2017. Looking forward to having a great 2018 now. So I hope your celebrations have been good and I hope you're looking forward to a great day ahead today. Even if you've got to go to work, there's that bit of party spirit there, is there not? Good. So the moon entered Cancer at 8:10 this morning. All my times are UK times, that's UTC or GMT. So 8:10 GMT, UTC, the moon entered Cancer. Things are a bit more touchy, a bit more emotional. People feel their vulnerabilities. You know, you don't have to be a Cancer to do this or to go through this, but it's a Cancer moon and we're seeing those Cancer characteristics coming in. Emotional difficulties can get in the way of business. So, try and, dig those roots in. Just, say and do what you've got to do to get yourself forward and to get to where you need to be. That's the way to do it under a Cancer moon. Just tread carefully, but don't stop doing anything, for goodness sake. The moon right now, 99.0% at this very moment. This is a live chart. She's coming up to full moon tomorrow morning, 2:24 a.m. in United Kingdom time. 5 hours behind in one part of America, 8 hours behind. What's 5 hours behind 2:24? I think that's 9:24 in the evening on one side of America, and 6:24 in the evening on this. I'm guessing. Let's keep moving because that's getting us nowhere. But the moon is definitely 99.0% full right now. She is opposite Saturn, moon opposite Saturn. Again, a serious kind of a mood and a serious kind of feeling. Some may feel isolated. Very similar to the Cancer influence here, but another side to it. Traditions, formalities, it's good to stick to them. They're appropriate, particularly at a time like this, as the year's turning and people are talking about this sort of deep philosophical meaning of where we've been and where we're going. That's the kind of time it is, but opposite Saturn, it's not a time for anything big, anything new, anything crazy, but things will go well as long as just not exactly keep a lid on it, but just go along nice and gentle. Bring your dreams into reality in a gentle way, because it is all about manifestation, this, even if you don't believe in any of this. Watching astrology gives you a much bigger overview of what's going on in the world, and it really does take you forward. I say that all the time because it's true. Mercury right now is trine Uranus, so progressive decisions, agreements, that kind of thing, good. Strikes, rallies, protests, well, we have just moved away from that sun alignment that was bringing success with that. But it is quite likely that with Mercury trine Uranus and not being retrograde, because Mercury isn't retrograde now, strikes, rallies, protests, asking for things you want, asking for things you need, and perhaps highlighting injustice now at this time as well, are all kind of a good way to go. In the Mercury retrograde cycle, Mercury is now in the post-shadow to the last retrograde. That goes on until Friday the 5th, the end of this week, and then on Saturday the 6th through till Wednesday the 10th, next Wednesday, week Wednesday, we then have the post-shadow phase intensified, and we can get some kind of, you get the ending little bits, little PS on whatever message you picked up in the time of Mercury retrograde. Things start to make sense, things start looking in the right direction, and that's a really, really positive way to be looking at things as we go into a new year. Under a Cancer moon, it's a leaf day in the biodynamic cycle, so if you're farming and gardening or anything to do with nature today, bear in mind leaves. If it's not the weather for planting leafy things, or if there's nothing leafy growing, like the only leaves we got at the moment in UK are evergreens, but they'd be a good thing to look at, and you could work on, if I'm out in the garden today, I'll work on something like my lettuce patch or something like that, clear it out for next year, because there's always something to do in the garden. Right, spaceweather.com, solar wind speed right this very moment, 455 kilometres a second. That isn't very fast, 400's normalish. But the proton density is well up at 10.4 protons a cubic centimetre, because there are no sunspots on the face of the sun. There haven't been for a few days now. But there is a very small coronal hole in the sun, and solar wind is coming out of that in a stream which is going to pass Earth today. So we're looking at minor G1 class geomagnetic storms. Not very violent, that's the gentlest one there is. But it could, cause, I think it sometimes causes internet problems. times, to be honest. And you never know, the internet just goes funny and you never know why it is. I think we'll see some of that today, quite honestly. That kind of thing is where it's at. Still a great time for seeing lights in the sky if you're in a part of the world where they're visible. I'm not. I'm really quite jealous if you can look at those things. Why not sort of, I don't know, stick a photograph of something nice like that in the comments? Because we slowly become a community of people all over the world, which is what I absolutely love about social media in general, and most certainly YouTube, which is it's just about my favourite one. It's a great way of coming together, and when people come together you get a result that is greater than the sum of the parts, the efforts that you put in to make that happen. So that's great. Thanks for being with me today. Thanks for being with me in 2017. Hope you can stay with us now as we go through 2018. We'll build up a massive great load of people and have meetings and all sorts. Okay, so stay tuned. Thanks very much for looking. I'll say it again. Happy New Year. Have a great 2018, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.